Well, hello YouTube. Here we are. Have ourselves a bit of a video. Guessing probably by now you figured out what the content of the video is going to be about. Well, way back, I used to collect Hot Wheels, and I had a semi-large collection of Hot Wheels. And over time, you know, your interests kind of change. You kind of went another direction and you got rid of them, right? And lately I've kind of took an interest in Hot Wheels again. I don't really collect cars for a collection of the series of cars, you know. I collect the vehicles that I like or that I remember or that I think are interesting or so. I don't really collect cars to collect them for monetary value or, you know, to get like series or, you know, numbers out of them. And I don't even know what ones to look for, especially nowadays, that would even be worth anything. But here's a look at some of the cars that I have that I've recently purchased in, you know, the last few months. Well, the first one up here is an '86 Toyota Corolla. Why would I buy a Corolla? Well, I remember these cars being around, right? So I just, you know, kind of remember them, right? I never had one, but I remember them being around when I was growing up. The second car up that I purchased is a '73 Ford Falcon XB. I bought it because I like the body style, you know, the paint job, kind of a retro look of a paint job on this here car. Of course, what childhood growing up wouldn't it be right without the old mystery machine, you know, from the Scooby-Doo, right? So of course when I seen that, I had to get it as well. It's kind of a neat looking van. I kind of remember this cartoon, you know, when I was a kid. Of course, one thing here that I caught my eye pretty much right away is a '69 Dodge Charger. Again, you know, I picked it up because, well, it's bright red, it's a Charger, and immediately it kind of reminded me of the Dukes of Hazzard or possibly the Fast and Furious, right? Of course, here's coming across the other day, and I came across this one here. It's a '69 Dodge Charger Daytona. Essentially, it's the same car as the one I just showed you, except being it's a Daytona, it has the bigger, you know, nose cone and a couple other things like that. Obviously the, you know, really tall wing on the back. And of course the next one up here is a '70 Chevelle SS wagon. I never had an SS wagon, but I was around these type of cars again growing up, so I always wanted to you know, own one. I always had visions of owning a big old wagon, but you know, with fuel prices the way they are, that dream kind of goes, well, out the window, right? And I remember growing up around these type of cars too. A '64 Chevy Nova station wagon. My dad had a couple old wagons kicking around and an old van kicking around when I was a kid, and I always visioned, you know, fixing them up and having me a hot rod, you know, maybe a project that Dad and I could have done, or you know, my first car, kind of a thing being vintage, kind of classic cruiser, if you will. And of course, being I'm not completely set up to display these cars anymore, I have been storing them in you know, odd places, and kind of keeping them kind of in odd places and just storing them out of the way until I get such time as I can properly display them again, hanging up or in a display cabinet. Of course, the next car up here is a 1971 Dodge Demon. I liked it because of the nice blue paint and the flames, right? And then we have ourselves a vintage kind of retro gasser type look '55 Chevy Bel Air. I remember watching TV shows and stuff like that when I was younger that featured cars, well, similar to this, right? And we have ourselves here, the next car up is a '72 Ford Ranchero. Again, you know, growing up, I remember these cars being around. They were a little bit rougher shape, but they were still around. And I also remember the Chevy version of this, you know, the El Camino and those cars too. Of course, the next one here, the package just says Chevrolet SS. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this one here is a Chevelle or a Nova or what it's supposed to be, but I liked it, Kane, because of the, you know, the stripes and the color and all that. The package itself shows a purple car, but it comes across as blue to your eye. And of course, who didn't want themselves a little Datsun truck, you know, when they were a kid? I always wanted one of these, and I never got a chance to have one. You know, it would have been nice to have driven one. I heard there are quite a lot of parts for aftermarket and custom for these little mini trucks. Of course, then there's your '69 Ford Mustang green in color. It's got your great big wide, you know, rear tires and your little narrow front ones. I liked it because, well, you know, it's a Mustang, right? And then these ones here are some that I've collected. A couple in here are recent, and a couple of in here are older. This one here is an '81 DeLorean DMC 12. I collected this one here, well, because it was a DeLorean, and further on in my collection I have two other DeLoreans as well. So next one up here is Muscle Mania 11. It's a Shelby Cobra 427 SC, you know. These ones here always fascinated me growing up. I always wanted, well, to own one, but a true original Shelby is big bucks. And you know, the fastest thing ever, right? You got your Volkswagen Type 181 thing. If you ever find one of these cars in real life, they're actually a rare car, because there was only, I forget how many were actually imported because of safety concerns. And this one here, a '66 Chevy Nova, it kind of goes with the station wagon that I have, kind of keeping with the, you know, Chevy type theme. And we got ourselves here an '86 Monte Carlo SS. I've always liked these cars. I always wanted one of these too, growing up as well, but never could afford it, never could find one. I found a couple in the last few years, but they've been really rough shape and needing full restoration, given the age of the car. Well, that's fully expected, right? And one of the cars up here is a 1985 Camaro IROC Z. Again, this is one of those cars that I've always wanted to have, but never could get it. So now I bought me the Hot Wheels version, and well, she's mine, right? And the next car up is a GM Muscle Mania car. This one here looks like she is a Biscayne over an Impala, judging by the taillights. And the next one here up, of course, who doesn't remember the A-Team van? When I seen this car here, I got it in like 2011, 2012. When I seen this van here, I had to pick it up just because, well, it's the A-Team, right? And we got ourselves a Hot Wheels showroom car, 3-window 34 Ford. A pretty nice baby blue color, a little bit of flame on the sides, and she's good to go. And one of the cars up here, the next one up, is a '57 Chevy. Got ourselves two-door, got ourselves flames, got ourselves nice wide wheels, and kind of a fun looking toy. You'd wish you have the real life car, right? And of course, who didn't watch the new Fast and Furious movie and love the '69 Dodge Charger Daytona? Of course, this is kind of the match or the mate to the red Daytona I showed earlier. Of course, last but not least up is the Back to the Future, a 2011 model DeLorean Time Machine. It's fully outfitted with the DeLorean Time Machine goodies right from the Back to the Future movie. And of course, I happened to find here a '81 DeLorean DMC, virtually the car that the you know, movie car was made out of, if you will. And stainless steel finish, just like the movie car, and it'll match the other two that I have in my collection. So of course, you know, these are all new ones, all from within the last well, couple of years, right? So of course, these are all new ones, all cars from the last, you know, 2 or 3 years. I do have some that I kept back from my original collection, ones that I thought were of value, ones that I liked, and stuff like that. So of course the first ones up were what they called in. So these cars here were from the 2002, 2003. I had a lot of these cars. I had probably over 100 Hot Wheels cars at time when I got rid of my original collection. Of course, I have a bunch of these what they call hooligan cars. They're what they call a treasure hunt. These are number one of a 12 collection of Hot Wheels treasure hunts for 2003. And then I've got you know, some other ones here. And the next car up here is a 64 Chevy Impala, again from 2003. I liked it because it was, well, a Chevy Impala. We got ourselves a Ford Mustang. I'm not 100% sure where I got these ones from. These ones here, they might have been a gift from somebody at one time. I don't remember exactly when I got them. But you know, they're part of my collection now, and they're kind of interesting looking, so I will keep these ones. I had to keep this one from the original collection. It's a Myers Manx built on a Volkswagen Pan, so it's you know, it's kind of an interesting car, right? And of course, here are two more of the hooligan treasure hunts for a total of 5. I remember having more of those, but I gave some away, and I sold a couple too to collectors that were in my area. And this car here, 56 Ford, it's the gold version, treasure hunt number 2 of 12. I picked this one up way back, like I said, in 2002, 2003. I forget exactly the year of it, but at one time this one here had a $50 tag for the collector value on it. But looking online lately, yeah, it's not worth anywhere near that. But looking back at the cars here, we have ourselves, of course, you know, the newer ones right here from, you know, 2012, 2013. We get up into some of the other ones that are up here from, you know, 2011 and around there. And then, of course, a couple of newer ones up here. And then we get into some of the ones here that are from, you know, 2003 or so. They're like 10 years ago. And of course then ones here from 2006. But it's kind of neat, you know, you stand back and you look at these cars and you kind of remember, you know, some of them from your childhood and kind of the memories they bring you. And family members have owned similar cars to this, and vehicles you always thought about buying or wished you had owned but never did, and stuff like that. But I look forward to growing my Hot Wheels collection again, kind of back to where it was. Not really collecting sets of cars. I know I do have some in here that are a series, you know, onesie twosies and stuff, but you know, nothing in here of extreme value that I'm going to be able to retire on, or by far worth anything. But they're more of a wall hanger or wall art, if you will, to hang in the corner of your room. But I guess this has been a bit of a look at kind of a long lost hobby of mine, or passion of mine, or interest of mine from way back that I'm starting to rekindle or rebuild. So as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's World. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.